The crash was loud. Flames and smoke filled the jungle sky. Birds screamed and flew away. Trees burned. Pieces of metal lay scattered across the ground like broken bones. A lone figure crawled out of the wreckage. It was a human. His name was Jace Thorne, a young explorer from Earth. His ship was now nothing but twisted metal. His mission was over before it even began. Jace limped away from the smoke, his leg bleeding, his clothes torn. But he was alive. That mattered most. The planet was unknown. No one had mapped it yet. It was wild, humid, and full of strange sounds. The air smelled like wet leaves and danger. Jace could hear growls and clicks deep in the trees. Something, or many things, were watching him. He knew he had to move fast. As he searched the broken parts of his ship for supplies, he found something strange. Hidden under a cracked floor panel was a black container. It hummed softly, almost like it was breathing. "What's this?" he whispered. The lock on the container was broken. Jace opened it carefully. Inside was an egg. It wasn't a bird's egg. This one glowed softly with blue and gold lines. It was warm, pulsing gently, as if something inside was alive. The surface was hard but smooth, like glass mixed with metal. Jace stared at it for a long moment. "This wasn't mine," he said to himself. He looked around. No signs of other life pods. No signals. No escape beacons. Nothing. This egg was in his ship, but it didn't belong to him. And yet, it was here. With him, alone. He felt a strange feeling in his chest. Not fear, but connection. Like the egg was calling to him. He picked it up, and to his surprise, it was light. Almost too light. He didn't know what was inside, but something told him it needed him. Jace found shelter in a rocky cave near a waterfall. He started a fire, treated his wounds, and began writing a log using his broken communicator. But his eyes kept going back to the egg. That night, the egg moved. Just a small twitch. Then another. Then it made a soft clicking noise. Jace sat up. "It's hatching." He grabbed a blanket and placed the egg on it near the fire. The cracks began to form. The blue glow faded. Tiny, sharp claws poked through the shell. And then, it broke open. The creature inside was no bigger than a cat. Its skin was dark purple with a sleek, smooth body. It had 4 legs, a long tail, and glowing yellow eyes. Tiny horns on its head, and small wings, too small to fly. It looked at Jace. Jace looked back. The creature didn't hiss or growl. It just blinked. Then it climbed into his lap, curled up, and fell asleep. The next morning, Jace was shocked to see the creature still there. It had made a nest in his jacket. When he tried to move it, it purred and nuzzled his hand. "You're not afraid of me?" Jace asked. "Strange little thing. I should be afraid of you." He gave it water. It drank. He gave it some dried food. It sniffed, then ate. It was smart. Jace decided to keep it. He needed a companion in this strange world. "I'll call you Claw," he smiled, noticing its sharp little talons. But deep in the jungle, others were watching. The Jiraki, tribe natives of the planet, saw the firelight from afar. Their scouts reported something unusual, a human survivor and the egg of the forbidden beast. Fear spread through the tribe. That egg was meant to be destroyed long ago. The creature inside was a danger to them all. Their leader, the elder, shaman, spoke in a hushed voice. "If the human bonds with the beast, the ancient curse may awaken. We must send the princess. She will deal with this before it's too late." Meanwhile, Jace and Claw sat by the fire. He didn't know it yet, but his small act of kindness had changed everything. The jungle would never be the same, neither would he. Because what he was raising wasn't just a pet. It was something powerful, something feared. And soon, the entire planet would know his name. 3 suns rose over the jungle sky, casting golden light across the thick green leaves. Jace sat outside the cave, sharpening a stick into a spear. His leg had healed just enough to walk slowly, but not enough to run. Beside him, Claw was growing. Fast. In just a few days, the small creature had doubled in size. It now stood as tall as a large dog with sharper horns, longer claws, and sharper eyes that glowed at night. Its wings still couldn't carry it, but they flared wide when it was angry. Jace had no idea how Claw grew this fast. It didn't seem natural, but he didn't care. Claw followed him everywhere, loyal, alert, and curious. They had become a team. One morning, Jace noticed something strange. Claw stopped eating the food Jace gave, dried meat, fruit, anything. It only sniffed and turned away. "What's wrong, buddy?" Jace asked. "Not hungry?" Claw didn't answer, of course, but that night when Jace was asleep, Claw disappeared. When Jace woke up, Claw was gone. Panic hit him. He grabbed his spear, limped out of the cave, and started calling, "Claw! Claw! Where are you?" No answer. Only silence. Then, a roar echoed from the trees. Not a roar of fear, but of power. Jace pushed through the bushes and reached a clearing. And there, he froze. Claw stood in the middle of a blood-stained patch of grass. In front of him lay the body of a huge predator, six-legged with a mouth full of fangs. One of the jungle's deadliest hunters. Dead. Its throat had been ripped open, and Claw, he was licking his claws, eyes glowing. Jace stepped closer, speechless. "You hunted that?" he whispered. Claw turned and growled softly, not at Jace, but around him, as if warning something unseen, and Jace realized they were being watched. High in the trees, hidden by shadows, figures moved. Silent, quick, barely noticeable, but Jace saw their eyes glowing blue. They weren't animals. They were aliens. The Jiraki scouts had been tracking Claw since the egg hatched. Now they saw what it had become. "It's begun," one of them whispered. "The beast grows stronger. The human has bonded with it. This is no longer a creature, it is a weapon." They disappeared into the trees, moving back to their camp. The princess had to be told. Back in the cave, Jace tried to clean Claw's wounds, but the creature had none. Not a scratch. "You're not just some predator," Jace muttered. "You were built for this." Claw lay beside him, calm and quiet now. But Jace couldn't shake the feeling. Something dark was growing inside this alien pet. Something powerful, something dangerous. And yet, it still purred when Jace scratched behind its horn. That night, Jace stood at the edge of the cliff near his cave, looking at the stars. "Where do you really come from?" he asked the silent sky. Behind him, Claw watched too, tail twitching. Wings half open. They were alone on a wild alien world, but not for long. Far across the jungle, in a tribal city made of bone and stone, Princess Arkila received the report. "The creature hunts already," the scout said. "It has killed the Deathjaw beast alone. It listens only to the human." The elders murmured in fear. Arkila stood tall. Her silver armor glinted in the firelight. "You said he bonded with it?" "Yes. The human treats it like family." She frowned. "No one has ever controlled one of those. Not even our ancestors." The elder shaman stepped forward. "The old prophecy speaks of this. If the death beast walks beside a human heart, the fate of our tribe will change forever." Arkila gripped her spear. "Then I will go. I must see this man, and his beast. Myself." Back in the cave, Claw's ears perked up. He sniffed the air. His eyes narrowed. Something was coming. Something fast, and for the first time he growled not as a pet, but as a protector. The jungle was quiet. Too quiet. Jace could feel it. Even the birds had stopped singing. No buzzing insects. No rustling leaves. Just silence. Claw stood beside him, muscles tight, tail low. Something or someone was near. Suddenly a voice echoed through the trees. Calm, strong, Female. Human. Step away from the beast. Jace spun around. A tall figure stood at the edge of the trees, half hidden in shadows. She wore shimmering silver armor that caught the bits of sunlight. Her skin was bronze gold, with tribal markings across her arms. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, and in her hand was a glowing spear. Jace didn't lower his weapon, neither did she. "I don't want trouble," Jace said, raising one hand. "You already brought it," she replied coldly. Claw growled, stepping forward. In an instant, her spear spun through the air, lightning fast, and slammed into the ground just inches from Claw's feet. Claw froze but didn't back down. "You command it?" she asked, surprised. "The beast listens to you?" "I don't command him," Jace said. "He's my friend." "Friend?" she scoffed. "That creature is born from death. Your friend wiped out entire tribes centuries ago." Jace looked at Claw. Calm, protective, quiet. "He doesn't know that. I raised him." The woman stepped into the light now. She was beautiful, but dangerous. Like a blade wrapped in silk. "I am Princess Arkila, daughter of the High Shaman of the Jaraki tribe." "I'm Jace Thorn," he replied, lowering his spear. "Explorer. Or I was. Now I'm just a survivor." Arkila studied him. He didn't look like a warrior. His clothes were torn, his leg was still wrapped in plant leaves, and yet he had raised the unraisable. "He hatched in your care?" she asked, curious now. "Yes." "And he's never attacked you?" "No. Not once." She circled slowly. Claw's eyes followed her, glowing faintly. Tension hung thick in the air. "You don't understand what you've done," she said softly. "These beasts are not pets. They grow stronger every day, then one day they lose control." Jace didn't speak. He didn't want to believe it. But somewhere deep inside, he wondered if she was right. Claw suddenly turned his head, growled. Arkila stepped back. From the trees, shadows moved. 3 alien warriors in bone armor appeared. Spears raised, eyes locked on Claw. "Don't!" Jace shouted. Arkila raised her hand, stopping them. "No. Not yet." She looked at Jace again. "You will come with me. The elders must see this with their own eyes." "And if I refuse?" She didn't blink. "Then we take the beast, with or without your permission." Claw roared, wings flaring, teeth bared. The warriors stepped back, fear in their eyes. Arkila didn't move. "I suggest," she said calmly, "you choose to come peacefully." That night, Jace sat by a new fire, inside the Jaraki camp. Claw was beside him, chained but calm. All around, warriors watched him with hate, and fear. He looked up and saw Arkila speaking with the elders. She kept glancing at him, confused, unsure. He wasn't like the humans she'd heard of, he was different. Later, she approached him alone. "You confuse me, Jace." He raised an eyebrow. "How?" "You raise a death beast, and it protects. You're calm, but deadly. You don't run, even when afraid." Jace smirked. "Guess I'm full of surprises." She smiled, just for a second. Then, serious again, she said, "Tomorrow, the trial begins." "Trial?" "If your beast is as loyal as you say, he'll prove it, before the tribe, or be destroyed." Jace's face turned cold. "I won't let that happen. You might not have a choice." Inside his tent, Jace sat beside Claw. He looked into those glowing eyes. "They don't trust you, or me." Claw tilted his head. "But I do. We're a team, no matter what happens tomorrow." Claw leaned his head into Jace's hand. Something was changing, not just in Claw, but in the people watching him. In the princess herself. Jace was no longer just a survivor. He was becoming something else. Someone the tribe could never forget. The Jaraki arena wasn't made of steel or concrete. It was carved deep into the earth, surrounded by sharpened bones of ancient creatures. The ground was hard, cracked and stained with the memory of blood. The tribe gathered around in silence. No cheering, no music, only heavy eyes watching one thing. The beast. Claw. He stood at the center, chained to a heavy stone, his wings folded, claws scratching the dirt. His glowing yellow eyes scanned the pit calmly, but inside he was ready to fight. Jace stood outside the arena wall, hands tied, guards beside him. He wasn't allowed inside. His heart pounded in his chest. This wasn't a trial. This was a test of death. High above, Princess Arkila sat beside the elder shaman on the bone throne. She didn't look proud. She looked conflicted. She had watched Jace and Claw for days. The bond between them wasn't fake. It was real. But tradition was stronger than feelings. The tribe believed the beast would one day turn. This trial was the only way to calm their fear, or feed it. The elder stood and raised his staff. Let the trial of strength begin. Release the challenger. The gates across the arena opened with a loud crash. Jace's eyes widened. What walked out was no ordinary animal. It was a Gorvak Hellmaw, a huge, armored beast with red, scaly skin, 4 tusks, and spiked legs. Its eyes were wild. Its roar shook the ground. Even the warrior stepped back. No. No, that's not a fair fight, Jace shouted. He's just a cub compared to that. But no one listened. Not even Arkila. Claw didn't move. He didn't panic. He didn't growl. He just watched the beast circle. Jace screamed from the wall. Claw, run! Move! But Claw waited. The Hellmaw roared again and charged. Dust flew. Jace held his breath. But at the last second, Claw rolled aside. Fast. Too fast for something his size. He dodged left, then right, then leaped onto a rock. The crowd gasped. Claw had learned. He wasn't just a beast. He was a hunter. The Hellmaw slammed into the rock, missing by inches. Claw struck, sharp claws cutting across the giant's eye. Blood sprayed. The Hellmaw howled in pain, but it didn't fall. It became angrier. It spun and slammed its heavy tail into Claw. He flew across the arena, hit a bone wall hard, and dropped. Jace shouted, Claw! No movement. Dust rose again. Silence. Even Arkila stood up. Is it dead? A warrior asked. No, she whispered. It's waiting. From the dust, Claw rose, slowly, painfully, but with fire in his eyes. He roared, not in fear, but in fury. Then it happened. Claw leaped, not at the beast's head, but under it. He slashed its legs, dodged its tusks, and climbed its back in seconds. With his claws, he dug deep into its skull. With one last roar, he snapped its spine with a twist of his jaw. The Hellmaw collapsed, dead. The arena went silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Claw stood over the fallen beast, blood on his teeth, chest rising and falling. He looked not like a monster, but like a king. Jace dropped to his knees in relief. You did it. The guard stared at him, stunned. Even Arkila couldn't hide her expression. Shock, fear, and something else. Respect. That night, the fires in the village burned brighter, but no celebration was held. Instead, the elders sat in deep discussion. The tribe had rules, and according to them, any outsider whose beast wins the trial must be honored. And if the beast was bonded by soul and blood, the owner must be offered something rare, something ancient. Princess Arkila walked quietly into Jace's tent. She didn't wear armor now, just simple royal cloth. You changed. Everything today, she said softly. I didn't do anything, Jace replied. Claw did. She stepped closer. The tribe demands I follow the old law. What law? If a beast wins the trial for its master and shows loyalty beyond death, she looked into his eyes. Then the princess must offer her hand, or lose her honor. Jace blinked. Wait, are you saying? Arkila's face turned red slightly, but she didn't break eye contact. I don't do this for the tribe, she said quietly. I do this, Gaunt, because I saw how you raised him. You raised a killer, into a guardian. She placed her spear at his feet. Tomorrow, we announce our bond. Unless you refuse. Jace looked at Claw, resting beside the fire, peaceful at last, then back at her. I don't refuse. The sun had not yet risen, but the Jiraki tribe was wide awake. Whispers filled the stone paths. Warriors sharpened their blades. Elders gathered in circles. Something strange hung in the air, not joy, not fear. Tension. In the center of it all, Jay stood beside Claw and Princess Arkila, both now seen as symbols of something the tribe didn't understand. A human, a death beast, and a royal heir. Bound together, the tribal arena was being cleaned. The blood of the Helmaw beast still stained the rocks despite the effort. No one dared to step near the center, except one, a tall warrior in red armor, General Corvash, the tribe's strongest and most feared fighter. He didn't cheer after Claw's victory. He didn't bow to tradition, he only watched and waited. And now he had decided. The tribe was falling under soft emotions. Honor, love, trust in outsiders. This was weakness. The beast should be dead. The human, punished. The princess, reminded of her duty. Jace sat by the fire, sharpening a small blade. His hand trembled slightly, not from fear but confusion. This wasn't his world, it wasn't his fight. He had come here to survive, not to change fate. Claw rested near him, chest rising slowly, healing from the battle. His eyes glowed faintly, even in sleep. Arkila approached silently. Ladar, prepare the ceremony, she said. For what? Our union, she replied. In the tribe's eyes, you and I are now bonded. Jace smiled weakly. I didn't even get a chance to propose properly, she smirked. Don't try. Jiraki, tradition doesn't like romantic humans. Then her face turned serious. But something is wrong, I feel it. At that moment, a loud horn echoed through the jungle. The arena gate slammed open again, but this time, not for a trial, a challenge. Corvash walked into the center of the pit. His voice boomed. The death beast survived its test, but the human? He has not proven himself. Shock rippled through the tribe. Jay stood, heart pounding. What's going on? Arkila whispered. He's invoking the right of flesh. A personal combat challenge. It's ancient and deadly. But I'm not a warrior, Jace said. That doesn't matter. If you refuse, he wins by shame, she finished. And you lose everything. Corvash pointed his blade at Jace. Come, outsider. Show. You're not just hiding behind the beast. The crowd roared, some in support, some in rage. Claw growled, stepping forward, but Jace raised his hand. No. This is my fight. He entered the arena slowly. The ground was still stained with blood, his legs still sore, his body still healing. Corvash stood tall, armor polished, muscles tight, blade humming with power. They handed Jace a short sword. It felt heavy. Too heavy. The elder shouted, "Begin!" Corvash attacked like thunder. Jace barely dodged. Sparks flew as blades clashed. The human rolled, jumped, ducked, but he was slower, weaker. Corvash grinned. This is your protector, princess? A broken man? Jace gritted his teeth. I didn't. Survive a crash, raise a beast, and win your hearts and to die here. He faked a stumble, then struck low. His blade nicked Corvash's leg. The warrior roared in pain. Now the crowd leaned forward. Corvash swung wide, slamming Jace to the ground. Dust rose. Blood dripped from Jace's mouth. Claw snarled from the edge, but Arkila held him back. If he steps in, Jace dies by law. The tribe gasped as Corvash raised his blade for the final blow. Then, Jace threw dirt into Corvash's eyes. The blade missed by inches. Jace lunged, using his last strength to shove his sword against Corvash's throat. Silence. Blood trickled. Corvash's eyes rolled back. He collapsed. Jace stood, trembling. He had won. Not by power, but by will. Arkila rushed forward, helping him stand. You did it. Jace looked at the silent crowd. I didn't come here to fight your wars, he said, voice rough. But if this is what it takes to earn your respect, I accept it. The elders bowed. Even the warriors lowered their heads, and Claw? He walked into the arena and sat proudly beside his human, not as a pet, but as a guardian. Far beyond the cliffs, however, a new watcher arrived, dressed in black, with glowing red eyes. An off-world warlord who saw the death beasts return. He smiled. The beast lives again. And the human could be useful. The real war was coming, and Jace had no idea what was waiting. The jungle was calm. For the first time in weeks, there was no fire, no blood, no shouting. Just the soft sound of wind through the trees and the steady breathing of a resting beast. Jace lay inside a silk-covered tent, wrapped in warm cloth, his wounds bandaged. Outside, Claw stood like a silent guard. The creature didn't move, didn't sleep, didn't blink. Anyone who passed by lowered their eyes in respect, and a little fear. Claw wasn't just a death beast now, he was a legend. Princess Arkila entered the tent quietly, holding a bowl of glowing blue liquid. Healing tonic, she had made it herself. Jace sat up slowly. You didn't have to. I wanted to, she interrupted. Drink, he obeyed. The taste was bitter, but his chest felt lighter immediately. She sat beside him, quiet for a moment. Then, in a soft voice, she said, You made them believe again. Not in the beast. In you. Jace looked at her. And you? I never stopped. They sat in silence, side by side, the firelight dancing between them. You know, Jace said, I never meant to change anything. I only wanted to survive. Then I found that egg. And now, you found me. Arkila finished, her voice barely above a whisper. She placed a hand gently on his. The tribe still follows tradition, and tradition says I must offer you my hand. But do you want to? Jace asked, meeting her eyes. She didn't answer with words. She leaned forward, forehead gently touching his. That was the Jiraki way. The answer was yes. The next day, the tribe gathered for the bonding ritual. No, loud music. No golden rings, only fire, bones, and blood marks drawn on the skin. Jace stood in a ceremonial robe made of dark leaves and silver thread. Arkila wore a long wrap of crimson silk with symbols of her family etched in light. And between them, Claw sat proud and tall, his wings spread wide. The elder shaman raised his hands. Today the outsider becomes part of our blood. He came from the stars. He raised the cursed one, and in doing so, he has changed the stars themselves. The tribe bowed. Jace and Arkila pressed their palms together. A glowing thread tied their hands, symbol of unity. The ceremony was complete. But as the tribe cheered, Claw's ears twitched. His eyes narrowed. Something wasn't right. That night, while others danced and feasted, Jace and Arkila sat alone near the jungle's edge. No guards, no fire, just the two of them, and Claw nearby. I keep thinking, Jace said. What happens next? Arkila tilted, her head. You mean after the bond? No. I mean after this peace. He looked at Claw. He still grows. Stronger every day. I feel it. Something in him is waking up. Arkila didn't deny it. It's in his blood, she said. You didn't just raise a predator. You raised something ancient, something forgotten. Do you think he'll turn against me? Jace asked. She shook her head. He won't. But others will try to turn him. Just then, Claw let out a low, rumbling growl. From the sky above, something shimmered. A small ship. Black, silent, no lights. It hovered for just a second, then vanished into the clouds. Jace stood up, eyes wide. Did you see that? Arkila grabbed her spear. Yes. She touched a hidden mark on her wrist, a signal for the warriors, but Jace already knew. That wasn't from this world. It was from off-world. Someone had found them, and they weren't here to celebrate. Deep in the Sanas jungle, miles away, the black ship landed in silence. Out stepped 3 figures, cloaked, masked, eyes glowing red. One of them knelt and touched the ground, where Claw's scent still lingered. He looked up. The hybrid beast is maturing, he said. Another nodded. And it's bonded to a human, the third one whispered. Exactly as we hoped. They vanished into the trees, ghosts in the dark. The real story had just begun. The stars above the jungle blinked like silent warnings. The tribe slept. The fires were low. The forest whispered in the wind. But Jace couldn't sleep. Something was wrong. Claw paced outside the hut, low growls rising from his throat every few seconds. His tail thrashed, his wings flexed. He was ready for something, but what? Inside, Arkila opened her eyes. You feel it too? She asked. Jace nodded. Something's coming. They didn't have to wait long. The ground shook, a flash of red light streaked across the sky. Then, boom! An explosion tore through the jungle's edge. Trees fell, smoke rose, screams echoed. Jace ran outside, grabbing his blade. Claw let out a roar so loud the ground trembled. From the smoke, dark figures marched forward. Metal armor, glowing red visors, advanced weapons, off-world soldiers. Arkila gasped. They're not Cherokee, they're outsiders. Jace narrowed his eyes. They're here for him. A voice boomed from the dark ship above. Surrender the beast, or your tribe will burn. The soldiers raised their weapons. Jace stepped forward, unarmed. You want him? Come take him, but know this. He's not your weapon. He's my family. Claw stood beside him, growling so loud the invaders took a step back. Arkila moved beside Jace, spear raised. And I am his bride. If you threaten him, you threaten the future queen of Cherokee. But the invaders didn't care for love or loyalty. They opened fire. Laser shots lit up the night. Trees exploded. Ground scorched. Jace shouted, Claw, defensive. Claw jumped, wings spreading wide. He leapt into the soldiers, moving faster than they could track. Claws tore through armor. Teeth shattered helmets. Roars silenced screams. Jace fought beside him, blade spinning, dodging blasts. Arkila led the tribe's warriors, archers, spear throwers, beast riders. The jungle became a battlefield. In the chaos, one of the masked leaders tried to flank Jace. He raised a high-energy cannon. Jace turned too slow, but Arkila jumped in front of him, spear spinning, blocking the blast with her body armor. She screamed, fell to one knee. Jace caught her. Stay with me, he cried. I'm not leaving my mate, she whispered. Claw saw it happen. He snapped. His body glowed. His size grew. His wings expanded wide. He let out a roar so powerful the invaders froze in place. And then, he unleashed hell. Lightning crackled from his horns. Waves of energy erupted from his chest. Every machine shut down. Every weapon jammed. The air itself seemed to obey him. The invaders turned to run, but it was too late. Claw struck like a storm, tearing through the soldiers. When the smoke cleared, no invader remained, only ashes. Jace knelt beside Arkila, holding her hand tightly. You're okay. You're okay. She smiled faintly. I knew. Bonding with you would bring war. He looked into her eyes. And now we'll bring peace. Together. Claw returned, covered in burn marks but standing tall. He curled around both of them, protective, fierce, and finally free. The next sunrise brought change. The elders declared Jace not just a guest, but a war chief. Claw was no longer called a death beast. He was the guardian of Cherokee, and Arkila? She stood before the tribe and spoke. This human raised a terror into a protector. and turned me from a warrior into a woman who believes in unity. I am proud to be the bride of the Peacemaster. That night, under the stars, Jace placed his hand on Claw's back. Ready to build something new? Claw purred softly, and far, far away, in deep space, other warlords saw what happened. A human had bonded with the most dangerous creature in the galaxy, and won. They were no longer watching Earth with pity. They were watching it with fear.